Hi guys, it's Danny here. Welcome to episode 3 of the Age of Heroes podcast. Joined tonight with my 3 excellent friends of Paul, Charlie and Tom. They'll all introduce themselves on their own. Tonight I've been passed the mantle, I've been passed the shield, and I've done the intro for tonight. So hopefully you guys don't shoot me down too much. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 and episode 2 of our Justice League Snyder Cut talk. But now we're moving on to Marvel, as you can see, and we are going for the Disney Plus series of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let's go.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul. Welcome back.
Hi everyone, it's Charlie.
That
worked out well, didn't it? Typical.
There was a reason we done an order last time, if I remember correctly. Let's just go. Let's go.
Let's go on. How do we want to do it? Who wants to start?
I think Danny should start. He knows more about Marvel than I do.
Okay, I'll kick us off. So we've had 5 episodes so far of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Second Disney Plus series following on from WandaVision, which was an excellent series. And obviously that's one that unfortunately we'll discuss another time. Just going on, so I am a big fan of Captain America. I've enjoyed all the stories from the comic books. For me, I know it's going to be controversial as a Marvel fan, but the Cap trilogy is, for me, the best trilogy out of all of them, including, obviously, Iron Man and Thor. And I was Team Cap in Civil War, so I will always be head of that. Loving it so far. I think having both Falcon and Winter Soldier together teaming up has been excellent. Big fan of Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. I think their chemistry has worked really well. And the whole struggles that, as say, Falcon has had trying to decide whether he wants to take the shield or not has been excellent. But I think he's stood up to the plate really well, considering it's a big thing that he's going to have to take on. So yeah, I think he's ready for it. I don't know about you guys, but I think he's been excellent.
I think anyone would be better than John Walker, though. The guy's a real dick.
I think Wyatt Russell's probably he's probably my favourite part of the show. I think he's playing the character brilliantly. I know you're supposed to dislike the guy, not just because of the way he's acting, but because he's following on from Steve Rogers. But he's just doing it perfectly. He's probably my favourite part of the show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like that's why he's so good. Like Wyatt Russell is like a great actor anyway, and it takes like a good actor to make you like genuinely hate the character that they're playing. So like, I think he's doing that really well. I like the sort of the direction he's taking. There's like little mirrors from like certain Captain America moments where you see that obviously this new Captain America, this John Walker, isn't fit to be Captain America. So obviously in episode 4, I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you've seen it, so I'm not going to...
Oh, yeah, spoilers.
Spoiler alert and all that. But obviously in episode 4, when he kills the guy with the shield, it's the exact same move that Steve Rogers uses in Civil War when he's fighting against Iron Man. But he just uses that to take out Iron Man's... whatever you want to call it, his heart.
So
he uses like the same thing, but obviously this guy, like his friend said to him, that Lamar says to him, if you take the serum, it just makes you more of what you are. So it obviously shows that he's a brutal guy.
Yeah, like I'm a DC fan through and through. I binged this in the last week, all 5 episodes. I did watch WandaVision as well, just because I was new and I was interested in to see where they were going. But I've got to say, the opening of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Packer scenes and the special effects of him flying all through everywhere, the missiles, the whole opening really gripped me. And I thought, this is good. And they're spending some money. And not only that, the casting they're putting in, they're not scared of getting these cast members, Baron Zemo, and it's like, that's wow. They think this is a TV series, and they're pulling everyone in on this. So I'm well into it so far anyway.
Yeah, I think so far it's a really good show. After watching WandaVision, it took me a little while to get into that. It took me kind of 3 episodes to start like really enjoying it. I think this one, I still weren't sold on the first episode. Like you said, the opening was brilliant, but I still wasn't kind of sold on it until sort of episode 2, and then it really kicked in. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I think it's a really good show.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie. I don't think in the lead up to it, I wasn't particularly excited for the show. None of the teasers or trailers got me that excited. I agree with Danny. What Danny was saying earlier, the Captain America trilogy is my favourite from the sort of Marvel side. I like Iron Man 1 and then 2 and 3. I'm not too bothered about. It's the same with Thor. I think the first one is brilliant. It's probably one of my favourite Marvel films, the first Thor film, and then the second one I don't think is very good, and then a bit bored of the third as well. I know everyone loves Ragnarok, and it's sort of blasphemous to say that you don't like it because lots of people seem to be putting it at the top of their list of Marvel films. But I like all 3 Captain America films. I thought they were brilliant. But for some reason, this show just didn't. I just wasn't keen. I agree with Paul. I thought the opening of episode 1 was brilliant. They really sort of got you hooked. But I think each episode has got better as it's gone on. 2 was better than 1, and then 3 was better. And then 4 and 5, I think, really kicked in. And I love that Daniel Brawl, who plays Zemo. He was in a film called Rush with Chris Hemsworth, which is amazing. I thought the balance between what I was really worried about with the trailers is I thought the balance between the more sort of sincere moments and the comedy was gonna be really off kilter. Some of the stuff they showed in the trailers about when they were sitting with the therapist, I don't think that worked within the trailer. But when you watch it, there's some really brilliant scenes, and then they're able to slip in the stuff of like Zemo dancing in the club, which I thought was brilliant.
You danced like that, Tom, didn't you?
That's how I cut shapes. You know that, yeah.
Legend.
And then some of the more sort of sincere moments a bit later on when Falcon, he's talking with Bucky, and when he's trying to, I don't know, learn how to use the shield or trying to practice with the shield, and he's telling him not to worry about too much what other people think of him, and sort of concern himself with how he sees himself. And I think Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie have both been sort of really good.
Yeah. It's been well written. It's like episodes up to 2, 3, and 4. You had all the other side story with the terrorists, if you want to call them that, with the serum. And that's sort of on episode 5. They didn't go too much into that, and they stayed on a lot of the action with Captain, Falcon, Winter Soldier, cool fight scenes. I like that it weren't loads more of that with them and the girl and everything that was going on. That you just got a glimpse, you knew it was still going on, but a lot of it was on this side of it. So I like that. It weren't one of these episodes where they dragged the same thing in every episode every week. It was like they steered off it. You knew it was still going on in the background. But that's a cool fight with Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier in that warehouse.
Yeah, I thought that was a great fight scene. Like how, again, they kind of mirror other parts in the MCU, like the fight between Captain America, Bucky, and Iron Man. It was very similar to that in Civil War. But yeah, I think it's really cool how you see Falcon using his suit to kind of get him out of things, like using the wings and the thrusters to kind of, because he knows the other 2 have got like super soldier serum, so they're obviously a completely different level to him, but he's using like his brain more to use different parts of his suit to get him out of things. I think that's really cool how they've done that.
Yeah, there was a scene where he was laying on the floor and he was about to be attacked, and he turns the thrusters on to pull himself back. I thought it was really cool.
I think what I've liked the most is, especially the whole story about the serum, and obviously the history of it, and them saying especially that obviously Steve Rogers was the only one that's not really gone against anything when he's taken it. He's still been the same guy. When they were talking, obviously Bucky unfortunately gets, he's brainwashed to become the Winter Soldier. And then also I thought one of the best parts of episode 5 with Isaiah Bradley saying about him and his heartaches and the conflicts that he had when he had the serum injected into him. And I can't remember the actor's name, but he's been in many. He's done many like Justice League cartoons. He was also in Supergirl. He's a very good actor, and he just portrayed the role of Isaiah Bradley really, really well. And I remember him in the comics, and he was he was an excellent character. So, and the struggles of him saying about a black man taking on the mantle of Captain America, and it just mirrors probably the real world, doesn't it? And but I thought it was excellent. I thought it was excellent the way that they acted it all out, and to say the serum and learning more about it. And obviously there is still more to come, but no, I thought it was really well done between them all.
I think what's good with the Isaiah Bradley stuff as well is that obviously he's so against like Captain America and being Captain America when he turns around to Falcon at the end and he says to him like, no self-respecting black man will ever take up that shield. But obviously, if like in the comics, his grandson, the one who Falcon sort of bumps into outside, he becomes a character called, I think, the Patriot. Or something like that. Yeah, he's like in the Young Avengers, he's their version of Captain America. So it's obviously it'd be cool to see that because there's rumours that they're going to be doing a Young Avengers film or series. So it'd be quite cool to see him take up that mantle.
They're setting it up nicely for Young Avengers, aren't they, Charlie? From what we've
Definitely.
seen, you know, spoilers are for WandaVision, but obviously they've got the kids involved now, which
is
good.
Show as well, aren't they?
With, that's Kate Bishop,
Hayley Steinfeld, I think, is it?
Yeah,
which is another good one. And obviously they're talking about Iron Lad coming into it at some point, or Iron Heart. Obviously they've already cast the girl to be Iron Heart.
Riri Williams, I think
that's it.
That's
So
right.
they're setting things.
All these
one thing.
They planned it so far in advance. They must know everything that's coming out in the next few years. It's like that's just mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean he's a genius, that Kevin Feige.
That's why it hurts so much to be a Marvel fan, to be a DC fan. I mean, sorry, be a DC fan and see the route that they're taking. You think, God, I'd be happy if DC planned like 3 films ahead. They're planning like 3 phases ahead at Marvel.
I agree. I like what Danny said earlier about Captain America as well, because for a character who's not in the show, his sort of presence is in every episode. His friends talking about him, or the public or the military talking about the new Captain America. And I really loved that bit when Zemo was talking about how the serum corrupts someone.
Yeah. And
they said like he didn't corrupt Steve, and they said yeah, he's the only one. So it just gives you just another little sort of touch of how special he was, like Steve Rogers was. And I saw something on Twitter as well that I thought was quite interesting, where they showed the parallels between him and Wyatt Russell's character, John Walker, whereas when he introduces himself as Steve Rogers, and John Walker always says John Walker, Captain America. So he's using it as like more of like a status, and that's who he sees himself as, whereas Steve Rogers just saw himself as Steve Rogers, someone who was doing a job.
Just a kid from Brooklyn.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. I think that going to what you said, Tom, like the line what Zemo says is something on the lines they say, oh well, it didn't corrupt Steve, and he said yeah, but there's only one Steve. Like he said, that's such a cool line, and coming from someone like who is the villain, but he's still kind of bigging him up, like he's still got a bit of respect for him, like that guy is like one of a kind. There's no one else like Steve Rogers. And I think that's such a cool way of having the person like not being his friend who says it, being the guy who's like he's fought in previous films, being like a Hydra agent or whatever, and he's still saying Captain America's one of a kind.
Yeah, he's like he's kind of like Marvel's in terms of like his moral compass. He's the Superman, isn't he? He does what's right because it's right rather than because it's easy or. Yeah, that's probably why he's my favourite character over on the Marvel side.
Saying that, I think one thing that I wish Marvel didn't do, they've done it with WandaVision, and they've done it with this. Kept bigging up like, there's going to be like a really good cameo coming in, like in this episode is like an amazing cameo, and then in WandaVision it turned out to literally just be Vision.
All Bettany.
Yeah, like he was bigging himself up, and then in this one, I get that like. What's that? Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is it? That was like the big cameo. I get that she's like a good actress. She's won like countless Emmys, but it's just like a nobody character, really. Like Madam Hydra is the character, and it's just kind of, oh, okay. Because I read an interview with I think it was the director of the show, and he was going on about this character who's coming in. I'd love to see her up against Thor. Like she'd be really good playing off of Thor. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh, it's got to be someone. It's got to be someone really good. And then it's just kind of nobody.
Like having the cat that took out Nick Fury's eye, and then
exactly.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that, Charlie. 100%. I was anticipating it, and obviously it's still a good character. It was still a bit like, oh, right, okay, yeah, that's unless they're going. I think they're setting up certainly for Thunderbolts, which is if for people that don't know that is the equivalent of an Injustice League.
Okay.
So it'd be basically they're trying to pick out little snippets of villains that are not dead to then bring them into being their own version of the Avengers.
Okay.
Which
in the comics is set up by Thunderbolt Ross, which was like the Hulk,
from the Hulk,
Hulk's father-in-law sort of thing. And if you think back to like the Hulk film, he was like he was trying to make his own super soldier in that, and that's why the Abomination came about, and that's why it was that Tim Roth.
Excellent in that.
The Abomination. So obviously, if he's still messing about with stuff like that, he's still interested in the super soldier serum, and obviously that bit where Bucky takes Zemo and gives him to the Dora Milaje, and they say, "Oh, we're going to take him to the Raft." The Raft is the prison from Civil War, like floating out in the middle of the ocean, and that's run by Thunderbolt Ross. So it's obviously sort of, like you said, laying down the little tip for the Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
especially for people that don't know, there is going to be a She-Hulk TV show which is coming to Disney Plus, and Tim Roth is coming back as the Abomination. So I think they're all starting to get those all set up ready for a Thunderbolts series, as me and Charlie were just adding on to it. But one thing I did want to say, guys, how good was it to see Wakanda and Bucky's backstory about him looking like he's cured now? I thought that was a very emotional start to the episode.
That was some great acting from Sebastian Stan. Like you kind of feel, like you really feel for him when he looks like he's fighting so hard against these words that have been used to like brainwash him and turn him into this sort of sleeper agent for God knows how many years. And you could see just how hard it was and how much he had to try to sort of fight against these words. And then I can't think of the word she used. She says a word sort of like to the effect of like, "You're free," like it doesn't work on you now. And that was, like you said, it's a really kind of moving scene.
Yeah, it was good. It just shows this, they're not scared of going to these places and exploring all this. Years ago in all these sort of shows, the money weren't there, and you just hear, "Oh, we're going to Gotham," and you just hear something. But now they actually go to the place, the actors are there, and it's just like Marvel. I think Marvel's going to knock it out of the park over the next few years. TV series. I'm hoping DC gets some good stuff coming on HBO.
I hope so.
Marvel Studios, I think, with their the TV series, they're gonna hook me in on a few, I think.
Yeah, I think they're able to tie it into the films, get all the actors coming in. I mean, I started to think that was maybe a bit of a hindrance, the way they were tying everything together. You know, you had to see everything to understand all of these tiny, and there's so much. There's only there's only so many hours in the day, but it's nice when you have seen them all, and you watch these TV shows and you pick up on those little bits and bobs.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it was only probably up until the last, since Disney Plus came into it, that Marvel probably has overtaken DC with even their TV series, whereas before I thought DC TV was excellent. Everyone knows how much I'm a big fan of the CW shows. With the Arrowverse from starting in 2012, and then Marvel only really had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I didn't think it was bad, but it certainly weren't up to the level of the DC shows. I'm not saying that the DC shows are bad now, but you know, you're losing quite a few. There's quite a lot of them that are coming to the end. Obviously, we do have still Superman, which is a big fan of all of ours, and we do enjoy watching that. But apart from Superman and maybe the Flash, possibly Stargirl, it's you come away thinking, well, probably Marvel are gonna do a lot more with their shows, which is a shame. But that doesn't mean that DC need to do exactly what Marvel are doing. I just want them to start releasing or stick to their schedule. Just play it out and see what happens. We're all big fans. Everyone wants to see them do well.
Yeah, because I think DC have, like you said, they kind of need to stick to their schedule because they've released like this big slate of like TV shows they're going to be doing for HBO Max with like Zatanna, Justice League Dark,
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern series. Hopefully, like you said, if they stick to it and do that, then I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I've got faith in DC. Finally,
don't do it. Don't put your neck out there.
I'm gonna do it. I keep getting hurt. I keep going back.
The hope's there.
But
has anyone been watching on YouTube this weekend? There was that 3-day that Justice Con event that they were doing. With
I haven't seen none of it now.
I see some last night.
Yeah, because I was watching. Tim, the guy who does DC Film Squadcast. He was interviewing. I'm sure the guy. His name's Jay. I don't know how he pronounces his last name. I think it's Oliva. Might be Oliver, but I think it's Oliva. He directs a lot of. I think he directed some of the DC animated films like The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. Yeah, well, he's worked with Zack Snyder a lot. I think he's done storyboards and stuff like that. And he said on his panel that Zack's original plan was to, once he had done his 5-film arc, was to do a more faithful adaptation of Flashpoint, so that DC could have then used that to reset the timeline and done a unit like a bigger universe, whereas he had his films, and if they wanted to reset, they could have. I don't think he would have been directing it, but that was kind of the plan. And if they would have stuck to that, it would have been sort of gearing up for the Justice League 3 now anyway. So all of this
so good
hassle they've had, they could have been coming to the end and done what they were trying to do anyway and reset the
Can you imagine Zack Snyder's Flashpoint with Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman? Oh my God, man, that would have been so good.
I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah, he's brilliant. But yeah, I mean, it just shows you how clever. It shows you how clever Kevin Feige is. Really, I mean, as Paul was saying earlier, that the amount of planning that goes into, and even Ben Affleck said himself, he's probably the most successful producer in Hollywood. So
you got to think Marvel have been going through these 2008. They started it all with Iron Man, and we're in 2021, and they don't look like they're easing up at all.
No, exactly. And I mean, I think the big thing is he doesn't just work in that industry as a suit. He's a fan, isn't he? Like he likes the material, so he's churning out the same. It's kind of like his target audience is himself. He knows what they want to see because it's the same stuff that he wants to see.
It's just a shame, I think, that they're only just starting to get like a lot of their characters back, like the rights to their characters and stuff. Yeah. Because the thought of them being able to do Civil War properly how it is in the comics would have been so much better than the fight in a car park that we got in Civil War, like the one that we got. Because obviously now, to think you could have added into that, like the Fantastic Four, the Punisher, Daredevil, they was all like huge parts of that story. And like I said, it's just a shame that they're only now starting to get their characters back.
I think that's the one I'm hoping that we get to see at some point. I know he's rumoured to be in the next Spider-Man, I think, isn't he? Daredevil, Charlie Cox. That's the one I want to see back. He was brilliant, along with probably Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. He's my favourite casting in Marvel. He was
I think he's excellent. But I also think John Bernthal as the Punisher was one of my favourite ones. The Punisher and Daredevil were both on par with me, because I kind of...
Yeah, no, Dolph Lundgren.
I like that ultra-violence. Dolph. That's for a different show.
I was going to say, Dolph's our He-Man, Tom, that's it.
Yeah. I was just about to say, we can talk about Dolph all day long if you want to talk about He-Man.
I love that He-Man film. I don't care how.
Totally agree.
I
100%.
love that as well.
Where do you reckon the series is going to go, Falcon and Winter Soldier? How it's going to end and continue next season? What do you think, or do you think you want to see happening?
I think it's
Is it 8 or 10 episodes?
6.
six.
Is that
There's
only
only one more
six?
episode.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
only
there's
one
only
more.
one more. I think
Okay.
it's going to have to be. It's going to have to end up with Falcon. I reckon the package that Bucky gave him is probably going to be like a vibranium mix of like a Falcon and Captain America costume. That's got to be his like a red, white, and blue costume for him. And then
Because he won't take the gear, he's going to need a bit of protection, isn't he? So
exactly, yeah. So I think there was an end credit scene on episode 5 where you see John Walker building his own or fabricating his own Captain America shield.
Was it him though?
I didn't see that bit. Yeah. I'll have to watch it.
It's about halfway through the credits.
Yeah, he's making his own shield.
Do you see him
in the comics? He goes by US Agent. So I reckon he'll take up his US Agent kind of anti-hero stance, and then Falcon will become Captain America, and I reckon his mate, the army guy, that Torres, will be the new Falcon, because he says to him, "What about your wings?" And he says, "No, you keep them." So I reckon he'll take up that mantle.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, I didn't know the end credit scenes on the series.
I think it's only that episode. Yeah, I think it's only that episode. But did they show John Walker? You see someone doing the shield, did it?
It's John. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously then you see Falcon opening up whatever that is. I agree with Charlie. I assume then it was going to be some form of Captain America suit, and he's obviously going to go toe to toe.
I think
with him with his own shield.
Considering that it was like Bucky who said that, like, I've got him to do it for me, and then like you said, he had that line where it's like you shouldn't worry what other people think about you, like be your own man kind of thing. So I think it's probably Bucky saying like, you deserve to be Captain America.
I think my own prediction will be same as you, Charlie. I think it's definitely a vibranium Captain America suit for him. I think Bucky is obviously going to reveal to the old guy in the first episode that he ended up killing his son as the Winter Soldier,
I forgot all about that part.
Just to get that as final clarity. I think John Walker will end up being taken to the raft, and he will then be recruited to be part of the Thunderbolts. That I can definitely see. The Flag Smashers, which we've not mentioned too much, I just think they're either going to die, or they're just going to end up doing their own thing away from the show.
I think they just seem to kind of be part of the storyline that was put there to be able to facilitate getting John Walker where you needed John Walker to be.
Because I saw a thing. I saw a YouTube video where they was talking about, apparently there was another storyline that was going to be going ahead that they kind of took out, something to do with them releasing like a worldwide virus. And obviously because of everything that's gone on with the pandemic, they didn't want that storyline to go ahead. That's why, like, if you look in like episode 1 and 2, there's a couple of little bits where they talk about they're stealing vaccines, and then just nothing else really comes of it. But apparently it's because there was a side story about a pandemic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes
sense. And I think one that I think is definitely going to happen, that with Sam becoming the Black Captain America, he's going to have Isaiah Bradley brought back into the real world, and he's going to be there known as a legend, and he will be part of the Captain America Museum. That's what I think is going to happen with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Did you not think that there was one tiny little, maybe not criticism I had, but throughout the films, the Winter Soldier's been able to go toe to toe with everyone, like and pretty much take most people out. He gets his ass kicked a lot in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was like, I don't know if that's their way of saying now he's sort of like been sort of de-brainwashed, if you like, that he's just not as ruthless.
Like less aggressive and...
Less aggressive, but...
That was exactly what I was going to bring up. The fact that not only is he was like a soldier in his own right, then he was given the super soldier serum, then he was trained as like a Russian murder machine, Then in between all of that, he's come back and he stayed in Wakanda with some of like the greatest fighters in the world. And then he gets kind of gets his arse handed to him a bit by a few people. And then
you got done by a little girl.
Exactly, yeah. Where Sam's talking to like the leader of the Flag Smashers, that young girl, and then
She's
that
brilliant,
John Walker just manages to barge his way in, and that's before he's even got the serum. You'd think Bucky would just give him a backhander and send him halfway across the room.
Yeah. I agree with what Paul just said. It's his sort of less aggressive. They're probably trying to get across that he's not as ruthless when he's just himself.
Yeah.
That girl, like I agree with what you just said a minute ago. That the girl who's playing whatever her name is, Carly Morgenthau. That's it. She's really good. I see her name getting chucked out as like a fan cast for Batgirl as well, which I wouldn't be mad at.
Okay.
Can we just throw in one scene, guys, that we've not mentioned? It for me is the best scene in the whole of it was when they had Zemo hide in the bathroom and escape, but then you had the Dora Milaje turn up, kick the absolutely shit out of John Walker, and then especially when the spear goes through the shield and just leaves it in the ground, and you just see Bucky just standing there like, yeah, go on, John, yeah, you're doing really well. He's absolutely getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah, poor old John. He was really heartbroken, wasn't he? He was like, they're not even super soldiers.
He was real sad just laying on the floor. But what I liked about that scene as well was where Falcon and Bucky go into the bathroom to find out that Zemo had gone, and they said he's done an El Chapo.
Yeah, it was
cracked me up.
Oh, Charlie, just going back on your bit about Winter Soldier and Bucky and how good he's meant to be. He made himself look really stupid when literally, I can't remember the girl's name, Okoye, when she literally just dismantles his arm with just one
couple of pressure points and his arm falls
bang,
off.
and his arm just drops, and it was just like, wow, okay, that's
brilliant.
Yeah,
good. I know they would have that fail safe.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh. No, so there's literally just next week. Then it would just be we'll be able to talk about how it ended and if it sets anything.
We've got 4 minutes left, didn't we? So do you want to talk about the giveaway, Paul?
Yeah, I spoke to the lads. We're going to do a little giveaway. So as we're talking Falcon and Winter Soldier, we can continue it next week on the finale. But we're going to give a couple of Funko Pops away to you listeners or watchers. So I've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, courtesy of the Geek Garage. You can check their website out, geekgarage.co.uk, for pops and more. To enter, all you've got to do is put a comment below in this week's video, and the comment can be Team Falcon or Team Winter Soldier, and we'll announce the winner in next week's video. And one of these will go to one of you lucky winners. We've still got 3 minutes, guys. Let's carry on.
Yeah. Have we? Oh no, go on. I'll leave it to. I was going to ask something else that wasn't to do with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we can
go for it. Go for it.
Go on, crack on.
I was just going to see if everyone saw the Army of the Dead trailer.
Yeah.
Yes. Loved it.
Don't it look?
So I love how all roads lead back to Zach here. So that's all good. I'm loving it.
I just think that's what you get when you let the man, like he said Netflix just didn't interfere at all. Like, here's your stuff, off you go, do what you like.
I think that the fact that obviously you got all these zombies in Vegas, and then you see a zombie tiger.
Yes.
A brilliant bit in that is the guy's reaction was zombie tiger. He's like, oh no, that's going too far. I think that's like a little nod of Zach being like, you let me do what I want, I'm gonna give you a zombie tiger.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it might go too far, but that's me.
I read something today from the Justice Con things and that, and he has said about like HBO Max or any other format that might want to continue any of this stuff or the Nightmare stuff, anything really, and he hasn't ruled it out. He said like that courses will take their course, sort of thing, basically. A very cryptic way of wording it, but if stuff was to come, it will come. He's left it like that, so it's still it's not a no.
I can't see how, unless they've got an aversion to money, I can't see how they wouldn't want to do it. Unless, to me, if considering what the reception was, not just from fans of his, but normal film reviewers and stuff seem to have been more on board than what they've been with any of his stuff.
Yeah.
You're getting people go back and watch Man of Steel and BVS and sort of seeing that in a new light in after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League. To me, if they don't at least want to carry that on,
time it's 30 seconds, I think.
At least if they don't want to carry that on in some respect, then that's just to spite him. I can't see any other reason.
Guys, thanks for this week. Thank you everyone for watching and tuning in. Join in next week for episode 4. I've been Paul Edwards on the Age of Heroes.
I'm Danny.
Charlie.
Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Tom, see you guys. Thank you.
See you next week. Subscribe to our channel, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.